Hello friends, I am Abhishek and today we will discuss about the COP. COP stands for Conference of the Parties. It's an annual meeting of the nations that have signed the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or UNFCCC. This convention, adopted in 1992, aims to stabilize greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere to prevent dangerous human interference with the climate system. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or UNFCCC, was indeed adopted at the Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, in 1992. This landmark event marked a significant step towards global cooperation to address climate change. This summit was organized to keep in mind of Agenda 21. Agenda 21, a comprehensive action plan adopted at the 1992 Earth Summit, aimed to address global environmental and development challenges, including climate change. The 2 degrees Celsius target and the net zero emissions goal emerged later through the UNFCCC process, particularly with the Paris Agreement in 2015. This agreement, a landmark achievement, formalized the global commitment to limit global warming well below 2 degrees Celsius and pursue efforts to limit it to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Net zero emissions refers to the balance between the amount of greenhouse gases produced and the amount removed from the atmosphere. In simpler terms, it means that we are emitting as much greenhouse gas as we are removing. The first COP summit was held in Berlin, Germany in 1995, while the UNFCCC was established in 1992 in Rio, Brazil. The 2015 COP summit, officially known as COP21, was a historic event that took place in Paris, France. This summit resulted in the adoption of the Paris Agreement, a legally binding international treaty on climate change. The Paris Agreement aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, pursue efforts to limit the temperature increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius, and strengthen the global response to the threat of climate change. The COP28 conference, held in Dubai, UAE, in 2023, saw a significant discussion on climate finance with developed countries proposing a collective goal of $1.3 trillion per year to support developing countries in their climate action efforts. However, the final agreement only committed to a target of $100 billion per year, a long-standing pledge that has not yet been fully met. It was like a penny in ask of huge. Let's talk about the COP29 that was held in Baku, Azerbaijan. In this summit, the fund was increased to $300 billion in place of last year's $100 billion. India strongly opposed the $300 billion climate finance goal agreed upon at COP29. India argued that this amount was insufficient to meet the needs of developing countries and that the process of reaching this agreement was rushed and lacked transparency. India's stance highlighted the growing divide between developed and developing nations on climate finance. While developed countries often bear historical responsibility for greenhouse gas emissions, developing countries are disproportionately affected by climate change and require substantial financial support to adapt and transition to low-carbon economies.